One of the earliest and most successful NFT games to date is the Sandbox. It has a very simple name, but the point of the game is like an actual sandbox. Kids play in a sandbox and they can create whatever their imagination can come up with. In fact, the term sandbox has also become a genre for multiple games. Going back to the game, the Sandbox has thousands of users, and that's where the magic happens. If you're on the fence when it comes to the Sandbox, then we've got you covered. We'll give you an idea and tips on how you can get started, what you need to do, and how you can make some money. This is the Game Mag's The Sandbox Beginner's Guide, so let's dive right into it. Number 1. What is the Sandbox? The Sandbox is a video game when you look at it. The graphics will remind you of Minecraft, and we will be referencing Minecraft a lot in this video. If you are not a fan of Minecraft, I do not apologize. However, the term you are looking for is voxel art, or some people just call it voxels. It is the block-type graphics that is commonly associated with Minecraft. Then again, Minecraft does not own the graphics, but it is the game people think about when they see it. The Sandbox utilizes such graphics, and much like Minecraft, you can have your avatar exploring the different worlds in the game. You can also create, play, and explore much like in Minecraft. The only difference is that you can make money in the Sandbox, although Minecraft is slowly making variations and steps to enter the NFT metaverse so that players can make money as well. Number 2. How to get the Sandbox. Sandbox is only available for Windows as of this moment. You can easily get the game from their website onto your PC. The game doesn't require a lot of processing power, so even if you have a low-end laptop, it can still do the trick. While you can get the game for free, there is a necessity to put some money into it. After all, it is an NFT game, what else were you expecting? This isn't a game where you can just generate profit right away, but you can always check the site and what it has to offer. Number 3. What you can do in the Sandbox. We've already established that this is a game where you can do a couple of things. This is where it is also similar to Minecraft because it lets you do whatever is available. One thing you can do is to make some assets and in-game items, but we'll dive more into that later. The next thing you can do is to play some games. These games are made by other players, or you can make the games for people to play. Much like Minecraft, you can make worlds and rules for you and the players to play. You can then put your game or world online for people to play. The games can vary into action games, simulation, exploration, and more. Number 4. Sand and making money. What you're really here for is to make money. Now that you have an idea that you can play games and make them, the question now is, how can you make money? First of all, the game has in-game currency called sand. This is currency that you can get in-game. You can get it by getting some items or getting it as rewards. Sand is limited or controlled to a certain degree so that the game doesn't get bloated and the economy doesn't crash and burn. The in-game currency is also important, but let's get to the part where you can make money, and there are numerous ways. Number 5. Getting land and using it. Getting land is one thing that you can do in the game, which can also make you some money. The good thing is that you don't have to get land to play the game or make money. There's no way of sugarcoating it, but buying land is tricky for 2 reasons. One reason is that land usually sells out right away whenever it is available for sale. The other reason is that land can be very expensive, and unless you have money to spend, then it will be hard for you to get land. The price of land varies depending on the size of the land as well as the location. If you didn't know yet, there are other entities that are invested in the Sandbox. Did you know that DOGG as well as other companies have patches of land in the game? That's why players would want to buy land that is near these locations. People are clamoring to buy land near DOGG's area because there is value there. That's where one aspect of making money comes into play, which is the land itself. Landowners can make something out of their land. They can edit and make worlds for players to use. Landowners can charge players to use the land or when they want to play the games created by the owner. That being said, the owner has to make some interesting games for people to pay up. Then, there are those that just rent out their land to other players. These people will pay the fees, and you still get to keep the land, thus making you money in the long run. Aside from DOGG, there are notable entities like Atari and other companies that back up the Sandbox. Number 6. Play some games. Playing some games can also earn you some money. It is like playing a video game, but you get some rewards when you play other people's levels and worlds. This is where a little risk can come into play if you want to play some levels or not. There are those that are free, but to our previous point, some players will charge other players to use the land and enter the games. It may not cost a lot, so just be attentive before you pay for some of these games since the cost may be more than the reward. Number 7. Creating games and levels. We already mentioned playing games, and that means that any player, including you, can make and play the games. You can charge people to play your games, which is one way of making money. If you're wondering how you can make these games, the website where the Sandbox is has a game maker program. You don't even need to be an expert when it comes to the programming aspect because the game will help you with that. Plus, you don't have to rush through things when you want to make the games. Getting some good ideas and gimmicks for your games can be easy when you go online. Just make sure that you make some good games because people aren't going to pay if your games are bad or boring. Number 8. Making NFTs. The last method of making money in the Sandbox is by making NFT, or basically items in the game. In order to do this, the game also has another program that will allow you to make NFTs. This program is called the VOXEL Art Editor, and it requires a little skill to do. You may not need to be an expert programmer, but you need to be creative and have an artistic edge. The NFTs you make can be minted and sold in the marketplace. The price should be fair for the item that you created. Keep in mind, people aren't going to pay for something that isn't any good. Overpricing the things that you make isn't a good idea as well. It probably won't sell and there's no money to be made. The good thing is that you can choose to underprice your NFTs, but don't do it where you're getting the short end of the stick. Also, make sure you're not violating any intellectual property when you make your NFTs, because oh boy, the ramifications if you start selling an NFT with Sonic the Hedgehog on the cover. Number 9. Doing some research. It never hurts to do some research later on. If you're having trouble how to make games or NFTs, there are guides online on how you can make these things. These guides can be a bit more intricate and detailed, plus it helps what items are selling like hotcakes so you can take your part of the pie with the NFTs that you make. Plus it gives you an idea how the market is shifting, so on the investment aspect, you have to be mindful because that could be your money on the line or money that you can gain. Did you like our beginner's guide for the Sandbox? This is a game that allows you to have fun in a lot of ways. You can get creative and get paid for all of your troubles. Feel free to hit the comments for your own tips when it comes to the Sandbox. As always, leave a like, click subscribe, and ring the bell for more videos on the Game Mag.